What's up, guys? Artil Boy here. Today we're doing another video. Today we're taking a look at the United States Avon M50. Let's begin. So this is the mask that I've actually managed to. Actually, kind of funny part about it, I actually got this guy for around actually kind of bit unfortunate about my sad trip of, or rather the. So I got this for 125 bucks, and it actually could be a little expensive too. I actually got this in rather kind of my last trip in Emporia, rather from a military surplus store where this was actually being sold for 125 bucks, even including the canteen with the cap, which will talk about that. So this mask was introduced in 2006, and it was actually replacing all the other masks, like things like the M40 to M45, M42, MCU/2P. They were replacing all the masks with something like M50s, and rather our next video, or rather our next mask, the M53. Okay, this is called as the Joint Service General Protective Mask, and it actually was introduced in 2006 through present, so it's kind of a thing for it. Okay, let's get to the bag itself, which you could probably see. So the bag itself, big old nylon bag, kind of similar like the M40, but there's actually a lot of differences inside of it. So inside the bag itself, there's a little flap in there that also will be like closing in at the time inside the mask too. There is nothing inside of it. Yeah, because the mask, also except for this one elastic band right in here, and that's all that's inside this whole bag itself. So that's kind of another thing. Also, it's been secured with a Velcro, a little pull tab for it to be easy to pull. Oh. Here's, of course, this is the leg strap, or yeah, the leg strap, and of course the hip strap, or the waist strap, kind of like a belt type style. Inside of this little compartment, there's actually more inside of it. So it's actually more like a bigger pocket and a small pocket, which I recommend using the waterproof bag inside that small compartment. And it's also, you can pull it with this little tab right here. Of course, there's also this MOLLE strap to put things like you could put on a plate carrier or on the tactical belt that has a MOLLE's webbing on it. Also on the other side, is MOLLE webbing too. Here's this Velcro area that you could put things like your nameplate and all. Secured with also this side onto this small pouch, or rather big pouch, is also have like 4 MOLLE webbing all over it, with a small like little pouch inside here in front of it. Also had like a zipper inside of there. Here's things like 2 rows of elastic straps. There's like 3 segments of it. Small compartments that has there's a duct tape inside of it. That's strange. Yeah, kind of a little plastic piece inside of it, but I think you can just put stuff inside there too, so yeah, kind of really weird. And this entire thing would have it being like, not like falling down and all, so that's kind of another thing about these 2 straps itself. Okay, and and on this side, it had 3 compartments. One without the elastic piece on here. One to extend it with the elastic piece. One elastic band on this pocket. And on this big old pocket, you can put stuff in there. That's where you can put all the, and things like the spare M61 like bayonet filters. So that's what the bag is. And let's talk about the other pieces of accessories. This one is of course, a waterproof bag. Or bag waterproof chemical biological mask MI. And this is what it looks like on the bottom. And this is what's on the top. Yeah, it shouldn't be contacted with should not contacted foodstuffs because of possible toxic effects. That's kind of a thing for it. And here's what the top looks like. Just kind of what it is. So that's the bag itself. Here is the little manual for the thing itself. So this is page 1. Pause these if you want to read these. Here's on top of it. Yep, that's some of the pieces I do not have. Things like the hood, the hose, the that's 10. Extension strap. I do not have the things like the communication leads or the microphone ports. Those are the ones I do not have on the pieces itself. I'll eventually find these pieces. So that's page 2, and this is the replaceable components. This is the replaceable components 2. And this is where all the parts are at. Yeah, so this is that's actually all the pieces that's for the M50. Make it a little less like the M40, where there's a lot of parts you have to find. Here's the warning safety to it, or safety warnings. Here's how to don the mask itself, the operating instructions. So that's what it looks like. Okay, and this is how to test the thing, how to test the mask itself. This is page 7. Again, this is the donning the mask. Yep, also again. This is page 8. And this is page 9. And these are more for stowing the M50s, or also this one's for donning the M51. And this is also for, so that's kind of what this is to page 11, page 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and this is and these are actually all the contents inside of it. There is 18, and this is the do's on 19, and this is the 20, and this is the don'ts. Oh, do not tilt head back while drinking. Okay. Do not pull from the drink tube lever. And this is 21. And this is the change filter out procedure, a buddy system. So it's going to have to be like a buddy system for this one. This is the 22. This is the buddy system 2. This is also the sweats and fluids removal on page 23. 24, this is the installation. This is troubleshooting for 25. And that's it. This is the operator card. So that's kind of what it is. Yep, this is the normal USGI canteen, which you could probably... But the difference is its cap itself. The cap have the different type A variant, rather for its drinking tube system, which is supposed to look like this. So that's that will get its own separate review of the canteen itself. So that's kind of what it is. And now we get to the beast of them all, the M50. Now the mask itself has the... So let's get to talk about the mask itself. So the mask itself has had that more polyurethane butyl rubber to the thing itself, while the eyepiece itself is made out of the polyurethane, which is mostly the most flexible piece you can get. Yes, it's actually very flexible, rather by the actual eyepiece itself. But I do recommend putting the extra pair of lens on this so it won't get scratches for the thing itself. The two of the filter sides are made of plastic with pieces of rubber with two pieces of rubber to actually have it being sealed. And then the filter itself would push the whole entire flat piece would push in for the entire thing itself. So you can filtrate the air inside of it. So you can actually filtrate the air. And there's actually two markings on both sides. One that has the two different squares and one solid one about it. Well, it's actually because of this right here. You actually had to put it like this. And when you slide the mask itself, it actually had to be right here to be aligned there. That's it's good to go and secured. Pieces of plastic on these, and it's have that more actually only exclusively usage for the M61, N61 filters, which this is what it looks like. The filter itself actually has an indication on it. So if you notice about it here, if it's gone blue, the filter is no longer useful. But if it's white, it's actually very useful. That's kind of what it is. There's a barcode on that, and here's a actual name engraved onto it. MSN 42401529-2289. That's kind of one side to it. But here's a canister chemical biological mask, M61, lot number AVO 1233632B. Kind of also on the same filter, so these are two pairs of it. Here's in fact the voice diaphragm. Yeah, there's a little lever door there for the entire of a actual VPU piece, which is also sold separately. Here's a flapper piece inside there for the exhale valve. Here's a drinking straw that's using of a specific made canteen cap, and also you can get an adapter for it for your Camelback. Here's a lever for the drinking straw. Here's a stump for for the chemical hood. And yes, there's actually a secondary skin available, but it doesn't actually need a secondary skin. Here is lines all over the entire exhale valve, and even on the top of the nose itself. This one is also a large. The harness is a 6-point head harness. To tighten it, it's actually done it like this. But if to loosen it, it actually, you have to pull this to loosen it. But for this one, it's also had like this Velcro approach to it. Like you actually have to take all this stuff off and then pull it and then secure it like a Velcro strap. Here's this little tab for more quick donning. So let's see what's inside the mask itself. Inside of the mask itself. So here's what it looks like. So you actually got the oral nasal cup with the flat piece and all. Here's a little hole for the nose itself. That's probably for like the air filtration inside of it to travel there. Here's the drinking straw. So if you pull it this way, it will actually rotate to the mouth area. Here's the exhale valve assembly, and here's that connection port assembly for the VPU, which you do need some more parts for the thing itself. So that's kind of what it is. So this is how it's actually have to function. So when you filtrate the air, it will travel through here, travel to the hole where, actually the big hole where the nose is at. And when you exhale, it will go this way. Let's get these filter on. So let's test this bad boy out.
So this is what it sounds like with the mask on.
So this mask actually did a lot better, unlike the M40, but there are some major problems to it. Now, for things about it here, it is restrictively have a different specific filter. Now, as you could probably know, the more the you could probably know that the M50 does not have that more 40 millimeter thread type, so probably more normal. And if it's actually this mask decide to be discontinued or become obsolete, this will be probably a little rare or a little hard to find for like getting newer filters about it here. That's kind of a thing about this. But what I actually do like about it here is the indication on the filter. For when it actually gets to blue, it'll become like not useful anymore, which is kind of another thing you could definitely see from here. And they did a lot of better improvements, like the original one where actually that it will be stuck doing like this, being like actually become defective. That won't do that anymore, which is also kind of a really cool thing. Another thing about it here is the lenses themselves. It's actually become a little bit more easier to actually to put on the lenses, unlike the really kind of that whole lenses where you actually have to like invert the thing, put it on there, and then actually put it, and then the whole rubber skirt will be on there, or even the M45 where it could pop off. So that's kind of another thing about it here. What I do not have for the thing itself, or for the parts itself, things like the VPU accessory, and inside the M50. Also the hood for it. I don't have the hood. The hose attachment, so you can convert that to the M51, to be exact. So it could convert that to the M51 variant, which is that more likely for tank reasons. The thing I do not have is all the other lenses it has. It will have like the sun version, the flash bang version, the tinted lenses. Yes, the tinted lenses that I actually made a video about. Probably like in 2021, where I noticing that was a fake, rather for an airsoft variant, not the real variant. I pointed out about the video itself, or pointed out the piece itself. That's kind of a thing for it. Drinking straw is actually pretty good about it. And the head harness is also good at the time. It actually did a little better than the FM12, which won't do the weird, like, acting strange with the harness itself, which that might be my fault for that, too. So, I'm giving the M50, the US M50, an astounding of, let's see, a 9 out of 10. This actually is a not bad mask, and if I actually got the other two ones, which one of them is the C50, the one that has that 40 millimeter threads, and of course the PC50, which is meant for riot control, which is I don't have that mask, but I'll eventually get those two and make full reviews of these guys. So that's kind of something that I'll do the video on. So that wraps up at the M50, or rather the JSGPM, or the Joint Service. So, I'm Artillboy, and I'm signing out. I'll see you guys next time.